The Asian American identity. 2 words. It seems simple when you think about it that way, as if those 2 words haven't defined me and millions of others in this nation for the entirety of our lives. Growing up, I was always ashamed of who I was. According to everyone else in my predominantly white school district, my food was too smelly, my eyes were too small, and my parents' accents were too thick. According to my relatives back in China though, my Mandarin wasn't good enough, I didn't eat enough Chinese food, and I didn't understand Chinese culture well enough. Asian American. Simultaneously too much, yet not enough. Too Asian to ever be truly welcomed in this country, not Asian enough to relate to my counterparts in the Eastern Hemisphere. At some point before I entered middle school, I somehow subconsciously decided that even though I was too Asian for America, I needed to just force myself to assimilate because I lived here. I insulted the traditional Chinese food my parents cooked for dinner. I made sure to go grocery shopping with my dad so that I could get Lunchables to bring to school. I refused to speak to my parents in Mandarin, only replying in English. I failed to become literate to the point where I can't even write my own name. I gave up listening to K-pop and watching anime out of fear that I would get made fun of by my peers. I fantasized about having blonde, wavy hair just like all of the celebrities I'd seen on Disney. Basically, all I wished for was to be white. This sort of mindset went on for several years as the predominantly white, middle-class suburbs I lived in continued to further my internalized refusal and shame toward my own race. However, my sophomore year of high school, I actually transferred to an international sports academy in Florida. Here, I encountered individuals from all over the globe who were immensely proud of their heritage and where they came from. Over time, I became more comfortable with being expressive of my culture. My golf group when I first transferred was made up entirely of international students from Asia, with most of them being from China. Due to the language barriers between them and my coach, I had to step up and work as a sort of translator between my peers and my coach. While I had previously rejected any and all Mandarin practice, I was now actively speaking it every single day at practice. My Chinese got much better over the next few years, and now I choose to speak Mandarin as much as I can with my mom. Even though I grew to be more accepting of myself and my family's background during my time in high school, it was my first year experience at Emory that truly allowed me to feel proud of who I am. Emory is the first place I've been where I haven't felt like a complete minority. I finally felt like I wasn't alone. During my first year here, I decided to join the Asian Student Organization, and I also applied for a subsidiary Leadership Experience Advising Program. ASO is the largest cultural club in all of campus, and LEAP is a program in which students are taught valuable professional skills while also having deep conversations about the Asian American experience and harmful occurrences such as the mono-minority myth, bamboo ceiling, microaggressions, and more. While most people may see extracurriculars as meaningless and merely a resume booster, I took this opportunity seriously and used it to engage in important dialogue weekly on pressing issues facing our community. This opened my eyes even more to just how many other students were out there that felt the same exact way I did growing up. It was refreshing to know that my struggles with coming to terms with who I am weren't arbitrary. Most of all though, I finally had friends with similar backgrounds and shared experiences. For the first time, I could suggest going out to eat foods like hot pot or Korean barbecue every now and then, rather than the generic Panera bread trips I'd grown accustomed to. For the first time, I now had friends who wanted to take trips to H Mart together. For the first time, all of the fruits and snacks and noodles and fish and sauces and drinks and rice and everything else in between that I had spent the last 18 years of my life being ashamed of were something I could be proud of and indulge in with my friends. For the first time, I could confidently express who I was. Sometimes I still feel as if maybe I'm too much or not enough, but I understand now that I was never meant to fit in either the Asian bubble or the American bubble. Rather, the two were never mutually exclusive. I can be both, with my own community to thrive with and confide in. I know who I am now, and I'm proud of it. Asian American.